Hi, I'm Justin from Justin Butler Electrical, and today we are aiming to install a solar PV system at this property. We are currently going to be using the SolarEDGE inverter, SolarEDGE battery, so stay tuned and see how we get on. So we're going to be installing solar panels down that side of the roof, which we'll have a look at later. But on this side of the property, this is where we're going to be routing the solar PV cables through. They're going to be coming out the soffit board, and we're going to route the cables down the side of the property in black conduit, which then goes down to the entry point back into the house, where we're going to be fitting the SolarEDGE solar PV inverter. So this is the roof where we're going to be fitting the panels onto. We're going to be coming back to this a bit later on, but this is where we're going to be fitting all the brackets through onto the joists behind. Then all the rail is going to be mounted, and then that's what the panels fit onto. So we'll come back to that bit later on, where we're going to be installing the brackets. We're in the room where the solar PV inverter is going to be fitted, along with the battery storage system. Outside are where they're routing the conduit down the wall, where the PV cable is going to come down in the black conduit and come in reverse entry into this room. The supply to feed the inverter is going to be routed in SWA cable all the way around the outside, and the consumer unit that's been where we're taking the feed from is behind the camera, which we'll have a look at later. So this is where the inverter is going to be fitted. The battery is going to be fitted on this lower part of the wall here. This is about the only place inside the property where the battery could go. There's one possible position to be fitted outside, but the customer wanted it internally. The battery's going to ever so slightly hang over this corner here, and the customer's happy with that. So this is where the battery's going to go, the inverter up here, and all the other isolators fitted on the wall here. So this is where the consumer unit is in the property, and we've now got to route a cable from this position here all the way around to the inverter, which is around the other side of the property. So they're going to route the cable from this cupboard through this small section of the hallway. It's going to be clipped along the same route as where the EV charger was fitted. It's going to be clipped surface low level along the front of the property, and then down the side of the property, and then come in to where we're fitting all the inverter and the battery. We now have the bracket fixed for the battery. We're going to take the battery from the van now and take it into the property and mount that on the wall, and then we'll pick up from there. So now the battery is fitted on the wall. We're going to be fitting the solar PV inverter up there shortly. The AC cable and DC cable is going to come through the wall, and we're going to be fitting the DC and AC isolators shortly.
So we're going to jump up on the roof now just because the sun's come out, and then we're going to finish the inside work tomorrow.
Right, so we're at the stage now where we have fitted the first set of brackets for the first row of panels along the bottom. We've got the first rail in on the first row of brackets. We're nearly finished up for today, so tomorrow when we come back, we're going to be then fitting the rest of the brackets and the rest of the rails for the top row. Then we'll be fitting all the panels, working down from that end across. Then we'll make the connection onto the DC cables through the loft, down through the conduit that we fitted earlier on, into the inverter, and then we'll start the next phase where we'll be commissioning the system and getting it up and working. Right, so we're back here on day two. We got a little bit further yesterday. We've fit in a few more rails and brackets on the roof, and our aim now is to get the rest of the brackets in and the rails fitted. Next part will be bringing up the panels and fitting them onto the roof. We've got two positions that we're going to create shortly to drop the ends of the array, the string into the loft. That'll pick up on the DC cables that go down to the inverter. And then once the roof is finished, that'll just be basically doing the final connections and commissioning of the solar PV system. So we did encounter a problem when we were mounting the panels, and we didn't realise what the problem was until we got down to the bottom row. When we got to 3 or 4 panels in on the bottom row here, we realised this bottom edge was creeping down to what would seem to be the finish line of the last tile. And what we did, we stripped the bottom row back and fixed the top row to push that up. But what it did is actually it pushed it up out of line with the top ridge. So what we've worked out is that all these tiles are all out of shape slightly. They run down to the right, and you can see that down on the bottom here, that every single tile is slightly kicked to the right, to the bottom right. So we were working with one line to make them look perpendicular to the roof. But what that did is that basically we were running downwards towards the end here. So we had to go with what sat right with this bottom line. And in the end, we took all the panels off that we needed to, pushed up the whole array this end, and that's basically got us looking parallel along this roof now. But initially we got it wrong by working with the line of the tiles and the top ridge, because it's not in level. So we got that right and it's all fixed. So tomorrow will be the final day where the final elements of the SolarEDGE system will be commissioned. And that's basically a bit of the back office and software side of things, where we get the system energized and synced with the customer's app so they can view the performance of the system. And that will just basically bring together the whole SolarEDGE package. So I really hope you enjoyed watching the video today of us installing a solar PV system. If you'd like to see more in the future, then please subscribe and like our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.